The Vape Passion Show, episode 47. In this episode, we're going to talk about herbal e-liquids from Elixir Vape Company, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development leaving vaping out of their smoking ban, vape experts predicting what will happen in 2017, should you ship vape products to a P.O. box, and a DIY e-juice called Practically Perfect. Hey, welcome back to the Vape Passion Show. This is episode 47, and I'm recording this on Sunday, December 17th. If you're planning on buying any vape products anytime soon and you want to support the show, go to vapepassion.com/vendors and buy from one of those links. There are about 52 popular vendors listed. I'll get a small commission for referring you, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So there won't be another episode before Christmas, so I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays to everyone. I do expect to put another episode out during the week of Christmas, so there will be at least one more show before the end of the year. So let's talk a little bit real quick about what I'm vaping on. So I've got quite a few things actually right now, especially after all of my Black Friday orders have come in. So I'm using the Sync pod-based vaporizer and the MyJet pod-based vaporizer, and I've got the Dripbox 160 still using that, and I'm really liking this thing. It's nice. And then I have the Smoke Big Baby Beast, and that was sent to me for review from smokestore.us. So I want to say thanks to those guys for that. I'm also really liking this tank. It's that Big Baby Beast. The flavor is really good, and the vapor production is really good. It's one of my favorite tanks that I've used so far. Maybe even one of my favorite atomizers altogether. It really performs well. And then also I published my reviews of some e-juice that VIP eSig sent to me. In short, I would just say that they were actually all really quite good, and I felt like the flavors were very complex. They're a lot different than e-juices I've tried before, and I really like them a lot. They are a UK-based company, which means they have to comply with TPD laws, so you can be sure that there aren't any questionable ingredients in their e-juice. They're also really affordable at about $4.70 US for a 10 ml bottle, so very affordable e-juice. So go check out those reviews if you're interested. And now I want to pair a beer real quick. So this week I have Pancakes Maple Porter, and this is from Renegade Brewing Company. According to Renegade, this beer is a dark and roasty porter with notes of maple. It's a seasonal beer that you can only get between September and December. So if you want to pick it up, you better get it soon if you can find it where you live. I think Renegade Brewing Company is in Denver, so it might be hard to find in other states. I don't know. According to Pairwise, this beer should pair well with flavors like coconut, chocolate, cherry, apple, and blueberry. So let me look in my drawer real quick and see what I can find, one of those flavors. You know what? We might as well just go with this apple pie that VIP sent me. I just mentioned them, so I'll go with this one. This one is really good. The apple pie is a really interesting flavor. Okay, let's give this beer a shot first. Yeah, that's definitely a porter with a hint of maple. That's a really interesting beer. I like it. Yeah, I'd say that the apple pie flavor actually goes pretty well with this beer. So if you get a chance to get your hands on that maple porter, try out an apple pie flavor with it. All right, well, with my beer and vape ready to go, let's get on with the news. So let's start out this week with a product feature. I'm going to talk about Apothecary Elixir from Elixir Vape Company. So I've never tried any of these e-juices before, but Elixir Vape Company, they seem to be putting out some really high quality herbal remedy style e-juices. They've created an e-juice line that has zero nicotine and combines the benefits of herbs and vitamins to make blends that they say has pleasant and instantaneous effects. So some of these flavors, well, all of their flavors, they have 5. So let's go through that list real quick. The first one is called Awake, and that one provides natural energy and clear mind. Then there's Breathe, which provides a deep, soothing breath. There's Calm, which provides relaxation, peace of mind, and restful sleep. There's Enhance, that promotes vitality and energy. And Speakeasy Bliss, which promotes an awake, happy feeling. If you ever use essential oil blends, for example, something you would use in a diffuser, these e-juices, the effects of these e-juices will probably sound familiar to you. They're practically the same idea, but in vape form. Something else that's really cool about these e-juices is that they aren't flavored like the herbs they contain. For example, Enhance has the flavor of creme caramel with notes of cinnamon and spice, and Speakeasy Bliss has the flavor of a tart strawberry margarita with vanilla and cream. So those both sound really good. The ingredients that they use are 100% certified organic extracts, and according to William Vertetti of Elixir Vape Company, they also have an advising MD and a licensed herbalist to guide their formulation. They claim that the efficacy of substances when they are inhaled is around 65% effective in less than 10 seconds of use, while the efficacy of substances taken orally is around 35% within 45 minutes. So if that's the case, obviously vaping is the most efficient way to consume herbal supplements. I can't seem to find any research that supports those claims. I'm not saying that they're not true, but I don't know for sure. I would be really interested to see those studies. Elixir Vape Company touts the many known benefits of these herbs that they use, ingredients like green tea extract, yerba mate, valerian root, and St. John's wort. Now, in regards to herbal e-juices in general, not just the ones that Elixir Vape Company is creating, there are people that are skeptical of them. For example, some people believe that extracts might not be absorbed by the mouth, throat, and lungs in vapor form as well as they would be by the stomach. Also, some extracts might be destroyed due to high temperatures. Many people also doubt the absorption rates of herbal extracts when they're vaped. And finally, some people also believe that the dosages of these types of e-juices are too low to have an effect. So this might not be true at all of Elixir Vape Company's e-juices, but if you are considering using an herbal e-juice of any kind, my suggestion would be to make sure that you do plenty of research into the ingredients that company uses, also things like potential absorption rates and suggested dosages, just to make sure that you're getting something that will actually work the way you want it to. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development leaving vaping out of their smoking ban. So HUD announced on November 30th their plans to implement a smoking ban in public housing across the country. This includes 940,000 public housing units. The new rule is designed to protect non-smokers from secondhand smoke. It sounds like a good thing, but critics argue that because a very large proportion of the groups who live in public housing units are people who are disabled, mentally ill, homeless, and extremely low income, these are all groups who tend to smoke a lot. And by taking away their access to cigarettes, it could exacerbate psychiatric symptoms, especially in people who are mentally ill. So the one way that HUD can deal with this issue is by allowing electronic cigarettes, and it seems that they actually are, at least to some degree. And this is really surprising considering the way the FDA has been treating electronic cigarettes. You would think that vaping would be included in that ban, but interestingly enough, HUD decided not to make a definitive decision about whether that ban would include vaping. They've made the distinction between vaping and smoking. And in fact, the announcement specifically mentioned electronic cigarettes, which said, in their words, research to date on electronic cigarettes is still developing and lacks clear consensus. They also stated that their new regulations prohibit lit tobacco products, which clearly doesn't include electronic cigarettes. HUD says that they encourage public housing authorities that already have smoke-free policies to consider whether ends should be included in their smoke-free policies. So basically, they're leaving it up to the individual housing agencies to decide whether they want to include vaping in that ban or not. Public housing agencies have until July 30th, 2018 to put smoking restrictions in place. Hopefully most of them decide not to include vaping. Unfortunately, though, some politicians are already trying to get electronic cigarettes included in that ban. Assemblyman Jim Wood has introduced legislation in Assembly Bill 62, which would include electronic cigarettes in the ban in California. So in Wood's words, this would be consistent with California's definition of tobacco products. I haven't seen any call to actions for this yet from either CASA.org or SFATA, but if you live in California, keep an eye out for ways you might be able to fight that regulation. Okay, the next topic, vape experts predict what will happen in 2017. So ecigarettedirect.co.uk put together a great list of predictions on the future of vaping in 2017. These predictions come from 15 of the biggest experts in the industry, and I just wanted to call out a few of those. So Alex Clark, he said, in states where inappropriate policies have been enacted, 2017 will be the year that we start to see some rollback. Regulations like place bans and overbearing standards. Dr. Konstantinos Varsalinos, he said that we will see interesting developments in regards to bad quality e-cig studies. Professor J.F. Etter, he said in 2017 we will see the expansion of new products developed by the tobacco industry. And we're already seeing that with the Philip Morris IQOS. Obviously, other big tobacco companies are going to follow up on that one. Tim Meckling, he said Americans will see fewer vaping options in 2017, and that certainly looks to be the case so far. And a couple of predictions for the UK. Sarah Jakes, she said that the EU will include vape products in the Tobacco Excise Directive, but the minimum rate will be 0. And Oliver Kershaw, he said in the UK, the market looks set to remain as vibrant as ever. So, good news for the UK. There were also several comments that were very optimistic about how the Trump presidency will benefit the vaping industry. So hopefully some good news for the US in regards to that too. Those were just little snippets from the full article. So if you want to get more insight into what all of these experts are predicting, go check out that article at ecigarettedirect.co.uk, and I'll put a link in the show notes as well. All right, the next topic here. Should you ship products to a P.O. box? So I don't know all of the reasons why people use P.O. boxes, but I know of a few. For example, people who don't want other family members to know that they vape, on-campus college students who need to get packages in a university P.O. box, people who aren't home to accept packages and don't want them sitting on the porch. Another benefit of them is that you don't have to worry about a package going to the wrong address. And also there are some people who live in rural areas who have mailboxes that are far away from their homes. They don't want boxes just left way over there. Something to note is that couriers like FedEx, UPS, and DHL, they don't deliver to P.O. boxes. So your only option would be to use vendors who send through the United States Postal Service. But also, not all vendors will ship to a P.O. box, even if they use USPS. I don't really know the reasons for that, but I've seen it on some sites like Vapor DNA. Also, something to keep in mind is that if your package requires a signature, for example, a package from China sent via registered airmail, that will also not be delivered to a P.O. box, but you can sign for it at the desk at the post office. So if you want to get deliveries to a P.O. box, just make sure that the vendor you use will ship to one. Otherwise, it can result in shipping delays and additional fees. Some sites that I've heard will ship to P.O. boxes include stores like My Vapor Store, Fast Tech, Vapor Beast, Element Vape, Mount Baker Vapor, eSig Express, Wizard Labs, eBay, and 3fvape.com. I haven't confirmed if this is true of all of those vendors or if any of these vendors have changed their shipping policies recently, but check those sites out if you're looking to ship to a P.O. box. Okay, and finally, let's do an e-juice recipe. So this one is a DIY e-juice called Practically Perfect. This is another one from C. Winthrop on Reddit. This was his last e-juice recipe before retiring from DIY e-juice and vaping altogether in March of 2016. He says that this was his all-day vape and a flavor that he said everyone asked him to make for them. It sounds pretty awesome, so let's make it. So I'm going to make it in a 10 milliliter bottle, and this recipe is a 30 PG, 70 VG ratio. So I'll be using 8% amaretto from Capella, 3% almond from Flavor Art, 2% juicy peach from Capella, and 2% juicy orange from Capella. All right, let's get it mixed. That almond smells good. Sweet. 0.29 will be good enough. 0.8 grams of amaretto. 0.2 grams of juicy peach. This juicy peach smells really good. Fresh peach. And then 0.2 grams of juicy orange. There we go. Now I need 0.156 grams of PG. Seems I got some stuck up in that lid there. 1.54 will have to be good enough. Let's wipe that up real quick. 5.8 grams of VG. All right, 5.7 will do. And 3 grams of nicotine. This is 25 milligram nicotine, so that's why it's only 3 grams. There we go. All right, let's shake it up and vape it. All right, it's easy as that. So I've got it right here, shaking it all up. Let's see what it tastes like. I don't know if this is supposed to be a shake and vape, but we're gonna try it like that anyway. So I'm gonna be using the Pharaoh RDA, which is another product I've been using recently, testing out a little bit. I ordered this a while back, and I haven't reviewed it yet. Anyway, we're gonna get the Pharaoh RDA filled up. It smells pretty good, but I'm not sure what kind of, what smell I'm getting out of it. That first smell actually almost kind of smelled like bubblegum, but I know it's not a bubblegum flavor. When I fire that cotton on this RDA, I definitely get a peach smell. So I'm firing this at 50 watts. It's a 0.6 ohm coil, just a single coil, twisted wire. Actually, that might be a Clapton. Yeah, that's a Clapton in there. All right, let's go. I don't know. That flavor it's kind of weird, actually. I don't know how to describe it. I guess it's got a little bit of orange and peach. Actually, I think it's that orange that's coming out that tastes a little strange to me. I haven't really vaped many orange flavors before, so it's a little different. I'm getting some of that amaretto, maybe a little almond, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's kind of good, but kind of weird. I think I might have to give this a little bit of time. I wouldn't say it's gross, not at all, but it kind of reminds me of something that, like, some people wouldn't be a fan of, like mango. You just don't have a taste for that. Some people don't like mango, so they don't like mango e-juices. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting out of this right now, that it's probably a good e-juice, but maybe I'm not a fan of orange or one of these other flavors in here mixed. But I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to vape on this for a while. It also might turn into something different as it steeps for a couple of weeks. I'll follow up on that in a later episode. All right, so it was a short one this week. You'll find the show notes for this episode on vapepassion.com. Just do a search for episode 47. If you want to support the show, consider donating to my Patreon page at patreon.com/vapepassion. You can follow me on Twitter at vapepassion. I'm also on Facebook if you want to leave me a message. If you like this weekly show, please consider giving me a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already a subscriber. You can also check out the podcast version of the show on either iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. If you'd like to get notifications of new reviews that I'm doing or of the show, sign up to my newsletter at vapepassion.com. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me anytime at alex@vapepassion.com. All right, I'll see you next week.